just saw the Eagles pick, and they fucking did it again. They always get they get players that fall to them. It's a linebacker, so it's no one fantasy relevant, but it's a lot of people's number one linebacker off the board. And yeah, fucking Eagles, they're notorious for that, just getting players. And we already got D-Man saying Omarion 102. Mike is here. Great name, as I always say. For Mike, 101 is Genty. Yeah, clear 101 is Ashton Genty. As we still do have I spoiled the Eagles pick, but we still do have the Chiefs to pick, and they could pick. Travion Henderson really would be probably the only player I could see them pick, but 102 Omarion, 103. Yeah, I want to talk about it because everyone seems pretty excited. I see all the comments coming in. 103 Trav / Tet, and we'll talk about it. And Michael says it's a great draft, and I was kind of thinking, Michael, for fantasy 2025. I'm not that excited for how this draft played out. Again, for 2025, and Dynasty is Dynasty, and we look ahead, but we have to be honest with ourselves. As Dynasty gets more popular, which it is every single year, it's being played more and more like redraft, and people overreact week to week and year to year. And Michael says he's liking where Tet went, and so this is the players that have gone. We have 10 players, which is actually pretty good. Last year was 14, but last year was ridiculous with the 6 quarterbacks. That was the big reason why. 2023 there was 10. 2022 I think there was only 7 first round picks, fantasy relevant guys. That was the Kenny Pickett year and stuff like that. So this year we have 10, maybe 11. We'll see if we get another player by the Chiefs here. But the way I'm looking at it, obviously Cam Ward, 101, we knew it. Travis Hunter, we all thought was going to the Browns, now goes to the Jags. And my thinking on this is if they are trading up for him, they're going to play him both ways, right? Why would you trade up all that? They traded up a lot to go from 5 to 2 to get Travis Hunter. And that makes me think they're going to put him both ways. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel. At least when we thought he was going to the Browns, we could see him being potentially the wide receiver 1. He's not the wide receiver 1, when Brian Thomas Jr. is there. So I don't know how you feel about that, if you feel the same there.
Yeah, I think it definitely affected his value, because I do agree they're going to play him on both sides, but it's you can only stretch a guy so thin, Yeah. And like you said, they won't need him to be their number 1 guy. And come on, KC, pick Henderson.
I know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really like how a lot of it panned out, I guess. We would have preferred Tet to go somewhere with a little more proven quarterback. I think we all wanted him to kind of Cowboys. If he made it there, would have been nice. Obviously Warren going to the Colts, oh man, but
yeah,
just their history with tight end. But I know it's a whole different system and quarterback and everything, but it's still just everyone's got a tight end story regarding the Colts in general.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, Brian, claim your spot on that rookie draft. I'm going to send the link here. We got enough people early on that I think we're going to run at least a couple rounds here of a rookie mock just to see how people are reacting here. And looks like the Chiefs are taking a tackle. So no running back there, but I mean, obviously Genty to the Raiders is awesome. We like that. That's a great spot. But Ted to the Panthers, I know Michael here says he's liking it, and obviously he has the chance to be the best wide receiver there, but there's a lot that he kind of has to overcome, in my opinion. He has to overcome, Xavier Legette's still there, Jalen Coker, who I know is an undrafted guy, but he flashed. Plus, Bryce has to be like, he has to get to that next level with, in order for in my opinion, for Tet to be Warren, I don't know, to be satisfied that where you're going to take Tet in the first round. Like, is he just going to be a low end wide receiver 2 or whatever? I'm not sure. Colston Leveling to the Bears. Okay, that was an interesting one. A lot of mouths to feed with DJ Moore and Roma Dunze. It nukes Cole Kmet's value for sure. But I don't know. Like, I think we were all expecting Broncos Chargers. We were expecting those two teams, and those two teams, we could see him with as the number 2 target, right? Like we could absolutely see him as the number 2 target. Here, he could be the number 2 target. We just don't know yet. Tyler Warren to the Colts. We were all dreading that. I actually I don't mind it just because I think Tyler Warren's awesome. And we all hated the Brock Bowers landing spot last year with no quarterback, and he was tied in 1 or 2 last year, depending on format. Emeka Egbuka to the Buccaneers is tough year 1, and again, we have to take that into account. I know it's Dynasty. I know we're playing for 2-3 years, but people overreact year to year. People are out on Bryce Young when he has one bad year. Completely out on him and stuff. So Emeka Egbuka. That being said, it makes sense for the Buccaneers. I mean, Mike Evans is not young. He's going to be 32 before the season starts. Chris Godwin's 29, I believe, maybe 30. And he's coming off a major injury. So he's 29. So I don't hate it for the Bucs, but if those guys stay healthy and do what we think they're going to do, I don't really expect much from Egbuka year 1. Even Hampton to the Chargers year 1, I think Najee's going to be used a lot. I don't think he's just going to nope, Najee, you're going to get I would be shocked if Najee's healthy all year and he doesn't get more than 170, 180 carries this year.
Yeah, that even seems a little low.
For Najee, yeah. I mean, that's 10-ish a game. It does feel a little low. I was kind of looking up numbers, and I think J.K. Dobbins averaged about 15 carries a game. Gus Edwards, when healthy, averaged about 9.5. And then between Kamani Vidal and Hassan Haskins, they averaged another 6 carries a game. So about 15 carries each a game. Maybe that's best case scenario, in my opinion. And again, I think Omarion Hampton's way better than Najee Harris. The Chargers are going to use Najee Harris. They're just going to. I don't see them going away from it, whether he's efficient or not. I just don't see it. So see them not using him. Matthew Golden to the Packers. What are we going to think of Matthew Golden? Again, this makes sense for the Packers. Christian Watson, who I completely forgot, tore his ACL. I just, what was it, a week or 2 ago, where I was just I completely forgot that. I don't know. I just missed it, I guess.
You know what's kind of crazy about the Chargers? I just looked up their rush attempts for last year. Pretty sure this doesn't include the playoffs. This is regular season. 460, 463.
That sounds about right. That's about what I saw when I looked it up as well.
500, or basically around, we'll say 490 and above. It's Bills, Falcons, Colts, Commanders, Packers, Steelers, Lions, Ravens, Eagles. So it's kind of funny, how obviously they stopped rushing quite so much. After their bye week, they were kind of using Justin Herbert a little more.
Yeah.
But it's just a little surprising. I would have guessed at least 500.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did have a bunch of injured running backs though. So
they did. Yeah. Yeah. Under 30 a game. Matthew Golden, what's the narrative going to be if he comes out and it's just kind of meh year 1? He puts up 700 yards and 5 touchdowns. It's going to be Packers wide receiver. This is what they do. That's going to be the narrative around him. He's not, whether it's fair or not. And I love Matthew Golden. I loved him before he ran a 4.29. But like, if he doesn't come out and like is the clear cut number one Packers wide receiver, we're all gonna just be like, we're gonna be down on him, just like we are like with Jaden Reed already year 2, you know. And then Jackson Dart to the Giants. Okay, like if the Giants are winning games and they need to win games with their coaching staff, their GM, if they're winning games, like there's a good chance Jackson Dart doesn't play year 1. But anyways, real quick, before we talk more about that, we are doing a rookie mock draft. Join us. We got enough people in here to fill this up. So we got over 15 people. I'm sending the link here. We got several spots still open. So join us. We'll do a rookie mock draft, at least probably just 2 or 3 rounds. And as we're waiting for that, we will get to some of these comments and questions. We're waiting for that to fill up a little bit. We are also doing, real quick before I share the other screen here, we're doing a giveaway. We are doing a giveaway. We got the wheel of names here. We have, I think, about 20 people entered. We're doing a free team review. So we're going to spin this at the end of the stream today. And all you have to do to join is join our Discord. It's free to join. There's no cost whatsoever. Go down to the giveaway section and just type a GIF or a hello or a comment, whatever. It's down near the bottom of the Discord, and you're entered. So, by the way, there is a name Mike on here. That's not me. I promise it's not me. I'm not giving myself a free team review. So we have about.
I'm David 24/7.
Yeah, sure. D-Man says 10 running backs in round 2. I don't know about 10, but maybe day 2 you were saying, but I think that's even a little high for day 2. Ibuka, Warren, and Golden got nuked, Joseph said. Yeah. Yes, they did. They definitely got nuked. And that's it's pretty unfortunate. It's pretty unfortunate. He owns the 102. I'll be trying like hell to trade out of it, not an Omarion guy, okay? So Mark says he doesn't like Omarion Hampton. And again, I think Omarion Hampton, out of all these first-round picks, we're going to be the most forgiving to if he's not like difference maker level year 1, because we're going to see beyond, okay, Najee 1-year contract, like we just need to see something from Hampton, and he's going to kind of hold value, in my opinion. He loved the Browns trade. Yeah, Browns cleaned up there for sure. No Travion Henderson there. Shador left out to dry. Mr. Magic says, yeah. Browns could definitely take him first pick if they want to. I don't understand why the Colts didn't go with Zabo. Yeah, Simmons to the Chiefs. Yeah, we talked about that. Is that in reference, D-Man, to Jalen Milroe? Yeah, we'll see. Maybe he goes. Steelers still need a quarterback, so I'll have the Steelers, Browns, or Saints not drafted Shador. Yeah, that's three teams that need a quarterback. Actually, that's a good point. There's still three teams out there. Mark says he's glad he traded. By the way, let me share the draft. We got 3 more spots open. If anyone wants to join, we got 4 spots open. 4 spots open. Yep. So if anyone wants to join, we're going to start this up in just a few minutes. But Mark says he's glad he traded Jaden Reed before the draft. He got the 204 for him. Yeah. Honestly, though, like Jaden Reed, he's probably going to become a little bit of a buy low, to be honest. We'll see how the community reacts to it, to Golden going there. But like, I don't necessarily think like Golden's this like alpha, clear cut number 1 guy. I'm a big fan of Golden, but I kind of wanted him to go to like a team. I don't know. He feels a little bit better as like a wide receiver 2 on a team that has a quarterback that can pass the ball. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see that. I think Jaden Reed might become like a sneaky buy low. Buku to the Bucks makes no sense with McMillan there. Maybe Godwin will get traded now. Didn't he just sign a contract?
I think they might have restructured him, or maybe he did sign. But I was kind of thinking the same thing as a Bucks fan. I'm like, I wonder what this means for Godwin. Like, not only for maybe possibly his health for this year coming up, but obviously they're looking to the future. They have 2 aging dudes at wide receiver. So I was kind of thinking there could be something else on the move there. But obviously they're playoff contenders, like they keep getting in there. So maybe just run it back and just start building your team a year early.
Yeah, and again, like to me, it kind of makes sense. Again, it's Mike Evans, 32, Godwin coming off an injury, but yeah, he signed March 10th, and they basically can't get out of that contract till 2027. So Godwin's not going anywhere, unless they can somehow trade him. But I don't know if anyone's going to want to take on that contract. Yeah, McMillan's stock's going to go down for sure. He could still be good, but it's a lot of hurdles to climb there. Does Hampton to the Chargers and Tet to the Panthers move Tet back to the 102? I still probably lean Hampton 102 just because of the narrative. We'll see where it goes here. We got one more spot, guys. If anyone wants to join, I'll send the link out one more time here.
We'll Cam Ward and Superflex.
Yeah, it might be Cam Ward. I'm probably still okay with Hampton just because I think he's gonna hold value even if he's like not even, like I said, a difference maker next year. Whereas like if Ted McMillan is not good year one, he's gonna start falling just because it's the Panthers and Bryce Young and all of that. So
yeah, I mean on the positive side of things, there's a lot of guys who were kind of spared fantasy wise, existing veterans, that is,
yeah.
I'm just kind of looking at, I mean, like I would have liked to see a few more offensive players or, skill position players go, but we're definitely, I mean, I've heard a few different times, there's going to be a big run on receivers in the second round or day 2, I guess, second and third rounds. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see where we still got, Burden out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we still got, a lot of running backs and wide receivers beyond Burden it's a kind of a crapshoot in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of teams that still need dudes for sure. Like I was really surprising not seeing the Broncos take a skill position player.
Yeah, they took a lot of people's top cornerback though, so I guess I kind of get it. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised too. I think if like Loveland or Warren was there, they would have. But we did fill this up, which is awesome. We also have over 30 people watching, which is great too. So our record is over 40. I think it's 41. I have to go back and check that. But if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit the like button. Of course, subscribe to the channel. We're going to go live again tomorrow after the second and third round, which is going to have a lot more fantasy relevant guys. And before we get this draft underway here, last call kind of for the giveaway. If you want to join our giveaway, we're going to spin a wheel of names. We're giving away a free team review. Join our Discord. It's free. I see a couple people have joined. Go down to the giveaway section and just mention something. Hello, hi, a GIF, and you're answered, and I'll get you in there. So I'm going to start this up, and we'll keep looking at people's comments here because I know people are excited. So we'll see how this draft is affected a little bit. But Michael says he just traded for McMillan. What's that?
Ashton Genty.
Yeah. What? Just traded for McMillan a few days ago. Yeah, that sucks, Michael, trading for Jalen McMillan just a few days ago.
I think I did see someone asked if it's super flex or not.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I didn't even mention that before you pick. It's a 12-team super flex PPR. Let's go 1.25 tight end premium. Sorry, I should have mentioned that before I started it.
Yeah, just because there is no super flex tab, so I think that's why he was asking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's just no super flex tabs, but we're doing.
Now that I kind of think about it, why do they even have a super flex tab? I guess because it's the same thing as the all tab, but I guess that's all is maybe for if there's kickers or defenses or whatever in there too.
Yeah. Yeah, how I feel about Hunter is not as excited as if he went to the Browns. So that's just being honest there. Like my opinion is if they traded up and traded all that draft capital for him, that they're going to use him on both sides of the field, of both sides of the ball, and that's going to limit his snaps on offense. And also it increases injury. I don't know, a lot of people have really talked about that, but it really does increase like injury and things like that. So, I don't really hear a lot of people talk about that, but it 100% like increases his injury chances. So we have Genty, Hampton, Ward, Tet, Loveland, Warren, and Henderson off the board. Man, I don't even know where to go, to be 100% honest. Like, I shouldn't have picked at the 108 here. It's hard when there's still some running backs that could go that I might like be taking here over these guys, but I'm going to try and stick to what I see here, and I guess I'll go Matthew Golden. I'm a Matthew Golden fan, and he does have a chance to be the 101. The one for the Packers. So. But we'll keep getting in here. Yeah, so does Joseph.
I don't know how many years we're going to keep doing this with the Packers, Like, obviously, they took them in the first round, something they haven't done in over 20 years. But it's just kind of like, man, like, take a Packers receiver or two in best ball, but in redraft or when you have to, like, actually set your lineup, they're just so hard.
Yeah.
They're so hard because you never know. They're good as your second flex, because any one of them can have a good game, but it's just so hard to know when to start any of them.
Yeah, for sure. We'll pause it here. So the rest of the first round went Golden, Ibuka, Hunter, Judkins, and Burden. So how are you feeling about like Matthew Golden on the Packers versus Ibuka on the Buccaneers? And let's just say like you felt similar in terms of like their, pre-draft analysis and stuff. Do you think you would lean Golden?
Well, it's a loaded question because the Bucs are the best team, so you definitely take the guys on the better offense.
Yeah.
Best team, like overall, every year.
The Buccaneers, yeah.
The Buccaneers.
No, yeah, it's a tough one.
In all seriousness, I think I was still leaning Ibuka before this. And, we were kind of talking during the draft, and we were really kind of leaning like, oh, man, Chargers, take him, because, he's a speedster, right? Like, I know that he's not like one-dimensional type of dude, but, it's just a matter of, I would have really liked to see him play with Justin Herbert.
Yeah, no, for sure. I wanted to see it too, but I don't hate the Hampton pick. And like Derek says, like, is it good for Hampton with Harris there for Dynasty? And yes, but it does definitely limit his year one production. And again, I keep talking about it. We call ourselves Dynasty players, but we kind of play it like redraft nowadays. So, I think the reason why I still think Hampton's the 102 or 103 is because of the value he's going to hold. So I think people are going to recognize that, like, okay, Najee could be a 1-year thing, and then it's going to be all Hampton. So, but I guarantee you this team's going to be using Najee Harris. If they ran the ball 20, let's just say, I think it was about 27 rush attempts per game for the Chargers. If they get to 30, like it's going to be 15-15. Like Najee Harris is going to get 15 touches a game, in my opinion, if healthy. So Matthew says he's not liking any of the first-round picks outside of Genty. That was the wildest and toughest draft for fantasy. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that Kenny Pickett draft was pretty bad because there was only seven fantasy-relevant players, fantasy positions off the board. So are there any worry about Hampton being the Chargers? Yeah, so we just talked about that. I do think, and Joseph's saying, like, he clears Harris, yes, but, like, Harbaugh likes Amari and Hampton. By the way, Brockhouse, you are on the clock here. Harbaugh likes Najee Harris a lot. Like he tried to recruit him to Michigan, and like I just don't. I don't think Najee Harris is just like he's going to come in and get 5 to 7 carries a game. Like he's going to get his touches. He's definitely going to get his touches. Ricky says the league has spoken. Sanders isn't a first round talent. Yeah. And that's kind of what the league does, By the way, Brockhouse, I'll give you a few more minutes. I think you can still make your pick there. The league kind of like makes that decision of like they either say you're a first round pick or there's only been 6 second round quarterbacks taken since 2015. I like the dart pick. That's a good pick.
Yeah. If you were actually sitting at those 2 picks, you just you won the draft automatically.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, there's only been 6 quarterbacks taken in the second round, and like really none of them hit except for like Jalen Hurts. So McMillan was an instant sell the minute he did anything last year. I kind of agree because it was very touchdown heavy. Like Landon says, very, very touchdown heavy. So yeah, I kind of agree that McMillan probably should have been a sell. Now, like what you can sell him for now, should you have sold him for that before the draft? Probably not, but that's just the risks we take, I guess.
I think a lot of these. How much do you think the round 2, or let's say full day 2 draft capital is going to dictate the order of these running backs? Obviously landing spot neutral.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually, you say landing spot like neutral, but I am kind of going towards just like landing. Are you saying like they all get good landing spots or something?
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
like it's like, oh, well, obviously, whoever goes to the Cowboys or the Broncos, like they'll be propped up. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious where you are on that.
Yeah, I'd probably, if they all had like really good landing spots, I'll just stick to the guys I like Dylan Sampson. I really like Cam Scattaboo. I really like Caleb Johnson's up there as well. So I'd probably just stick with like the guys I like, but it is going to depend on landing spot. It's really going to depend on like, what's the story I can tell, because like that's where a lot of value comes from. Like, did the Cowboys take a running back in round 3 or even early round 4 on day 3? I'm probably going to take that guy a lot higher than a lot of other guys because I can sell the fact that, hey, I have the Dallas Cowboys, running back, starting running back. So,
yeah, I was going to say Sanders is going to get snubbed again. You get Milrow taken in front of him.
Yeah,
I get it. It's rough. I mean, I considered even taking Sanders because he'll go early day 2.
Yeah,
I mean, he has to, right? Like,
yeah, you would hope so. You would hope so
for his sake.
Yeah, Joseph. It's not that I don't like Tet on the Panthers necessarily, but it's just, again, like what's going to happen if Tet doesn't come out and like smash year 1? Not even necessarily smash, but like show potential. Like he's just kind of like he does what like Xavier Legette did last year, maybe a little bit more. Like he gets a couple of 100 more yards or something. Like we're going to go back into this. Oh, Bryce Young is not good for fantasy, and Panthers have a bunch of wide receiver 2s and things like that. So I like it in the sense, like, I think he could be the wide receiver 1 pretty easily there, but there's some things to overcome. And although I'm kind of in on Bryce Young, there's a chance that he's just maybe not very good for, in terms of just producing for fantasy numbers for his receivers. So, and then Rojo Fish here, Godwin and Evans. I did want to bring this up with the fact, like, when JSN was drafted to the Seahawks, he was drafted to the Seahawks a couple of years ago. What did we all say? Oh, this sucks. Tyler Lockett's there. DK Metcalf's there. less than 2 years later, both those players are gone. Both of them are gone. So like so much can change in the NFL, like really, really fast. So I
Yeah.
do tend to agree with Rojo Fish there. But again, like McMillan, I think if this is in conversation with McMillan, like it's gonna be tough for him to get
Yeah.
fantasy value again.
I mean, and it could create a good buying opportunity. People tend to like really value those, those first round receivers that even though they didn't do what we thought they were going to do, but some people also double count that, with the JSN thing where it's like, okay, he's not going to have a good rookie year, most likely, given, we don't see Geno supporting, 2.5 receivers, basically. I'm going to give 3/4 of a receiver value to Lockett the last few years. But, like he doesn't have, JSN doesn't have a great rookie year. And then people are like, they're out on him, where you could have probably got him for, at least like at a late first at the most likely in a decent amount of leagues. But some people are more patient than others.
Yeah, for sure. Where do we think Travion Henderson's going to land?
Bears.
Yeah, that's a good question. Bears would be nice. Broncos would be. There's a lot of good spots if we're being completely honest. Like
it'd be interesting if he did go to the Bears, and with Ben Johnson there, and then he has that thunder and lightning. If Swift can, like Swift was a pretty good pass catcher for a little while there, and he was really good at breaking those long plays when he was still in Detroit. So,
yeah,
I know he lost his job while Ben Johnson was there. Oh shit, I'm on the clock.
You are on the clock, yeah. Swift's still going to be good, in my opinion. If Travion Henderson goes there, maybe not. But if like a Caleb Johnson goes there or something, I think. By the way, Bears have 2 early second-round picks, 39 and 41. So if they don't take a running back there, I'd be a little bit surprised, for sure. Henderson on the Browns would be awesome, but realistically, the Bills would be great, or Denver. Yeah, Denver. I mean, Cowboys. There's a lot of teams. Like Travion Henderson to me is one of those running backs that can kind of fit anywhere. I'm not super worried about where he goes, just because he can catch the ball and he's explosive and he can do it with 10 to 15 touches a game. Garlic Price says Dontavian Wicks is the next Devontae Adams. That's a big statement there. Big statement.
Actually, Devontae Adams can catch though.
Yeah, right. I think he's alluding to the fact that Devontae Adams didn't really do anything until about year 3.
Right.
Although I think he had a big touchdown year his first. No, it wasn't until year 3. So, yeah, maybe we'll see. We will see. Hunter, the best value by a mile. Yeah, I mean, Travis Hunter at the 110. It's just, again, like, it's really hard to rely on wide receivers and tight ends that don't play more than 70% of the snaps. And just, I can't get it out of my head. Like, I don't think the Jags would have traded up and traded all of that draft capital for Hunter to just be their wide receiver 80% of the time, right? Like, they're going to play him on defense, and that's going to take away snaps from him on offense. They're not going to want to get him hurt, play 17 games and stuff. A lot of talk about Jalen McMillan, which is good. I think he'll get to the point where he's definitely a buy low, because like he flashed as a rookie. I kind of liked him coming out of college, and I got to take my boy DJ Giddens. And so, like, yeah, like Evans gets hurt, and we're singing a different tune, So, it doesn't take much for him to get there. What else we got here?
I'm just reading through the comments, and some of them are making me laugh. Like Rojo Fish saying Justin Jefferson must suck. Addison was drafted in the first. Yeah, I don't know. That's just made me laugh.
Yeah,
I can't even remember who I'm trying to figure out who was he talking about. Like,
Yeah, it's the whole Jalen McMillan, Emeka Ibuka, all that conversation. So, and I get it, and again, I'll come back to like we were a lot of people. They brought JSN, they pushed JSN down because he went to Seattle, and then less than 2 years later, the two guys we were worried about are gone from the team. So like so much changes in the NFL. So like yeah, I mean Jalen McMillan is to me is going to be a buy low because he's probably going to get pushed down pretty far. So, um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I was secretly hoping one of the tight ends would have made it to the Bucks even.
yeah, still a lot of really good players though. I mean, a lot of good tight ends and running backs and stuff like that. So maybe they get. I don't know. You're not a Kate Otten fan.
No, it's not necessarily that, but I think he obviously stepped up as needed, but like it's always going to be tough to really, when you have two good wide receivers in front of you, plus you got a good passing game with the running backs, both of them, like it's going to be tough to be anything more than third on that team, like more likely you're going to be fifth. So I don't know. I just think maybe getting a higher end tight end might have helped change that dynamic a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. Let's see. So Landon says Hunter should be going at the 102 easy. Man. He's wide receiver 1 in this class, but like again, it's just my issue is that the Jags they traded a first round pick. They traded a lot for him just for him to be a wide receiver when they have potentially a top 10 wide receiver already in Brian Thomas Jr. Like that. That's where like I'm not seeing the fact that they're drafting him as a wide receiver. I think they're going to play him as a wide receiver. I think he's going to play more snaps as a wide receiver, but to me, he's definitely going to play on the defense a lot more than if he were going to play or be drafted by the Browns. So, sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. I started I'm not on the clock, am I? No,
you're not.
Soon. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of crazy when you see like those high end picks, like, I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at to trade away. You had the 5th overall pick in this year's draft, so you obviously sucked, with the Jags, and you traded your first next year to move up 3 spots. Like you obviously have an immense amount of faith in this dude. But again, like you're not wrong with the whole, if he's only playing, 60% of the snaps or something on offense, which I think, is realistic. Like it's just going to be tough to be extremely fantasy relevant. But that being said, the upside is definitely in his favor.
Yeah. The Browns is like, would you rather compete against Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman or Brian Thomas and the wide receiver 2 is nothing to write home about. I don't even know who the Jags, Gabe Davis or Diami Brown or whatever, but it's just like Brian Thomas is the clear number 1 option on that team, and so we just don't know like how they're going to use him.
What if Hunter is better than him and he makes Brian Thomas sit on the bench? No,
he could be better than him, but again, if he played 90% of the snaps, I just don't see it happening. Like I could definitely be wrong. So I don't know. I mean, everyone can let me know in the chat. We got over 30 people watching. We did hit 40, by the way, almost hit our record of 41. Where would you take Travis Hunter? He went at the 110 here. Is that like a huge steal for him or not? So Out of Rhythm Sports is here. He says he loves T-Mac to the Panthers, and what's there to hate about? And again, the only thing there is to hate about is his fantasy value is dependent on Bryce Young and Bryce Young being good. And like, yeah, we saw Bryce Young for a stretch there look a lot better, but he's not going to it. And again, I guess whatever team he went to in the top 10, we weren't going to be super excited about. I guess Jacksonville and New England were the two where we would have been a little bit, maybe even the Raiders and stuff. It's not just solely on him. It's his quarterback. Plus, they have a couple other guys there, a former first-round pick in Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, who flashed a little bit. So, and we just got to see like how are the Panthers going to operate. And like Bryce Young was better, but I think he was only averaging like 220 passing yards a game or something, 215. So it's not like he was lighting it up necessarily. Marvin says he had Dart over Sanders, contemplating trading up to get him in a league. I'm in. Yeah. I wonder if Jackson Dart starts here one. I don't know. I know I'm on the clock here. Who's falling? We'll go ahead and take Torrey Horton. Who are the next two wide receivers drafted? So Algorithm Sports says Noel will be coming off the board. I mean, Luther Burden, you have to say Luther Burden's going to be probably one of them off the board. Yeah, Jalen Noel, Jaden Higgins, Jack Besh. I wouldn't be surprised if he's up there. So there's some guys for sure. Higgins, the steal of the draft. Yeah, it's just tough when you don't know where they're going to go. Jaden Higgins at the 302. But yeah, what other questions you guys got for us? We are going to be doing our giveaway. We're going to be spinning our wheel here soon. All you have to do is join our Discord. It's free. Go down to the giveaway section and drop a comment, and you're entered. So I see a couple people have left a comment since we've gone live here, which is great. But yeah, we're going to be live again tomorrow. So what time? The draft starts, I think, at the same time tomorrow. Maybe an hour earlier. Let's see here. Friday draft time starts an hour earlier. So we'll probably be live similar time. And we'll have a lot better understanding of the second and third round of rookie draft. So it's going to be definitely a lot better for the rookie drafts. But any other comments I'm missing? Questions, trade questions?
At the very bottom, where would Burden on the Pats rank? I mean, it's basically a wide open receiver room. It's like, I don't know what you think about Diggs being there, coming off the injury and everything and the age. Like, I think he can still, be somewhat productive, but I think there's plenty of space there, to take over. Now, what that actually looks like, I don't know.
Yeah. Burden, so if he goes to the Patriots, so would you take him over Emeka Ibuka? So let's say, he's going to the Patriots. What pick is that? I mean,
honestly, I don't really think it changes where he was drafted right here, at the end of the first round, basically. Like, I think I would have still taken Dart over him. We don't want to make the same mistake with the Bo Nix mistake last year. I mean, granted, he did go to the Giants, which they just know how to fuck everything up, pretty well. So not a lot of faith there, but I don't know. I think in general, I think I'd still go quarterback in Superflex at the end of the first with the first round quarterback.
Yeah. Man, it's tough because like I'm thinking about last year. Like why did we take Ladd McConkey and Keon Coleman over Ricky Pearsall and Xavier Legette, which I think happened in a lot of drafts. It's because we didn't love the landing spots for those guys. So I'm thinking about Ibuka, who was picked 23 or whatever he was, versus Luther Burden, who a lot of people potentially had higher than Ibuka heading into the draft. Luther Burden going 38th overall. I could see him going over Emeka Ibuka. Or, I mean, probably not Matthew Golden, but I can see him going over like guys like Emeka Ibuka. So, I don't know. It's an interesting thought.
So, looks like we got a super chat. So
We did,
I guess I
yeah.
need to shut up. I'm gonna answer the
Yeah,
question.
yeah, shut up. No, you can say what you're going to say, though.
No, I was just gonna say, does it worry you with Dart on the Giants that he's going to be playing more or practicing more with Jameis Winston than Russell Wilson?
Mhm.
You know, like that's not good. You know, like I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we love Jameis for fantasy, but you know, I lived through those years. I became a Bucks fan during those years, so it's painful.
He's just going to tell him, like, look, you just got to throw it downfield, close your eyes,
Yeah.
and half the time it's going to work out, and people aren't going to care about those 30 picks I threw. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't very. I just don't know how to evaluate Jackson Dart, Trey Harris out of the same offense. It was just so simple. The offense, it was just so college simple. So like, I really don't know how to evaluate Jackson Dart, to be honest. But he has the one upside with him is like he has a sneaky rushing floor. And I'm saying sneaky because he's white, right? Because no, but he does have like he runs more than you would think. So, and I think in the Dable offense that could be pretty good for him. But let's see what Mike.
He kind of looks like Billy from Stranger Things in this picture.
There's a player. He was a pitcher for the Twins. I don't know if he's still on there. Anyways, Joe Ryan is his name. You just type in Joe Ryan pitcher MLB, and he looks like the guy from Stranger Things. But we need to get to this super chat here. So he says he's at the 106. Who would you trade for Henderson, Judkins, or pick?
So who would you take if Henderson and Judkins are picked?
So he's saying Henderson and Judkins are gone.
Okay, so
super flex start. 10,
I think he's talking about the
Dynasty.
2.6, 2.7, like kind of there in the middle of the second round, right?
No, I think he's saying at the 106. Who would you take?
Wait, he has the 1.1 and the 2.6.
Yeah, Michael, let us know there. I know he said his typing stinks. All right, you have the 106, if I'm reading that right. I thought I remember him putting something about the 106 earlier too. So that's why I'm thinking the 106 here. But he says he has. I think he has the 106 because Henderson and Judkins are not going to be at the 206. That's also why I'm thinking that too.
I'm also kind of thinking, okay, because he has the 1.1 and the 3.1. I wonder if he actually earned that.
Also has.
Okay,
so he's the worst team.
I have a Superflex 10 team, start 10 Dynasty. But I was going to say, I mean, the move might be trade Henry if you actually earned those that 1.1 spot, just because you have the 3.1 also. You know, trade Henry, try and get maybe package him with that third round pick and try and get up to the end of the first round. I know people are always like down on running backs in general in this, you know, veteran old guys, you know, but Henry's maybe he'll be able to move the boat and then try and trade back up and kind of build that way. I'm kind of curious. I'm asking about the 1.6. I was last year.
Yeah, he was last year. So I think he's asking about the 106. He's saying if Henderson and Judkins are gone, so let's assume it's Genty, Hampton, Ward. It is a super flex, yeah. Genty, Hampton, Ward, Henderson, and Judkins gone.
Take 10.
I think you're looking at, I definitely think you're looking at Ted McMillan. I assume it's not a heavy. There's no tight end premium here, Michael. If there's a tight end premium, He says his receivers and quarterbacks are good. I would still take Tet most likely. I guess the only
You can never have too many wide receivers.
yeah, and again, I always mention this to people like what did you do last year? Oh, I'm good at wide receiver. Let me take Jonathan Brooks over Brian Thomas and Lad McConkey, even though those guys, we had ranked higher. Like it's because of it's dynasty and you can always trade. I don't mind just stocking up on a position. So I always just take best player available, unless like it's an extreme case of like I desperately need a quarterback or running back or whatever. So
yeah. He just said he has London, Neighbors, Pickens, Judy. If you're starting 3 of those guys, I would definitely take Tet. Obviously the first 2 are easy. Pickens and Judy, either one of them could be your third, but I wouldn't necessarily call it good at receiver. Like you could always use another first round guy. I mean, he was taken what, 8th, 9th, overall 9th?
Yeah, I think it was 9th. I think it was 8th. Yeah, 8th overall.
Yeah, 8th. Yeah, I think Tet's kind of the easy one.
Yeah, I think it's Tet. Yeah, I don't see the argument for Golden or Ibuka over Tet. I guess like if Quinshon, you're saying if Quinshon's gone, I guess if like Caleb Johnson goes to the Bears second round, then he could be in play, or like Dylan Sampson even. So if like a running back goes to like the Bears early second round, or even to the Broncos or Cowboys, you can make a case for those players. I still might lean Tet, but yeah, if the Bears take someone in the early second round or the Cowboys, I guess the Broncos too, and you really want a running back, then I would. I don't mind going with one of those running backs, like on whatever team takes those guys. So it's a little bit too early to say, but I think as of right now, I think it's Tet, assuming Henderson and Judkins go, and Tet's not there. Now, if Tet's not there, then it's whoever falls, right? It's Cam Ward, I guess, would be the pick, right? So
yeah,
I don't see Hampton or Genty.
Yeah, even though he does have May, Stroud, and Young, if Ward is sitting there at the 1-6, you still take him, and then you trade one of those other guys or trade Ward. Like if you have all those guys, he didn't say how many teams, but he did say start 10.
I thought he said 10 team, but
yeah, I read it like 10. That at first.
Probably 12.
Yeah, I'm just assuming 12, and it's like if you've got 4 starters, starters. For some reason, I was thinking Dart. I don't know why that just popped into my head. I think I just read his name. But I mean, if you have 4 starters, that means someone else doesn't have that, and maybe target one of those guys.
Yeah, the guy you're probably trading is Stroud. I don't want to trade May because I think he can go up more. I think Stroud would have the most value out of those guys. So we're going to do our giveaway here in just a few minutes. You have like just a couple minutes if you want to join our giveaway. We have our wheel of names. I need to add a couple people here.
Michael, you're welcome for the analysis. Enter the giveaway if you haven't already, and maybe we can do a deeper dive and actually like see the whole layout of your league.
Yeah, he said it's 12 team. But yeah, join the Discord, go down to the giveaway section, and just leave a comment, and you are entered. So there's been a couple people here. And honestly, I'm probably going to do this again tomorrow. So join us tomorrow for it. Let's see. We had T Yang 1488.
I hope the sniper wins, and he asked us to evaluate his team in the league that he's in with us. And we have a couple people mad shit about it.
Garlic bread's in there. Idle Cuddy.
Like these guys are terrible. You should trade them all to Taco.
My favorite is Post Nut Clarity is a good name.
Post Nut Clarity. I wonder what Dad would think about that, or if he would not get it. I don't know. I mean, he was a sailor, but
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna do this in just three minutes here. And Fantasy Meatball just joined, so we're gonna get him in there. And again, we're probably gonna do this again tomorrow because I'm feeling generous.
So
And we're gonna
what do
do a
you?
couple.
Sorry, I was
What's
gonna
up?
say what. It sounded like you already had something. I was just gonna say, who do you think retained the most value? You know, like Genty obviously not going to Jacksonville helps ETN
Mhm.
slash Bigsby if you believe in him. Like, I'm just kind of curious, like, who do you think got spared here?
Jerry
Javonte,
Judy.
Javonte Williams.
Yeah, it's tough with running backs because like
Yeah, they're gonna
we only
go.
had two. Yeah, I expected two, maybe three to go in the first round. Um, but yeah, I mean Jerry Judy got spared. We thought, uh, what's his face? Yeah, we got you, Derek. We thought Travis Hunter was gonna go there, and that would have taken away from Judy, so he got spared a bit. And we've been talking about Judy as a buy low now for several months. Um, so he definitely got spared. I mean, I guess Diggs, yeah, ETN, Jacoby Myers because they didn't take Ted McMillan. Jeremy Ruckert, the current starting tight end for the Jets. So go out and grab him, Jeremy Ruckert, third round pick a couple like I think 3 years ago now.
You know what?
Um,
I can't seem to remember to actually add guys in our listener leagues to replace my rookie picks. Like, I always think about it in the middle of the day, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I need to do that, and I still haven't done it. So maybe I'll pick up
yeah.
Jeremy Ruckert.
Oh, he was drafted, I think,
Oh
in at least
shit!
one of our leagues. Oh, both of our leagues actually. Yeah,
Too deep.
yeah.
Too
He
deep.
was. It is too deep. Um, who else? I mean, Swift, I guess for now, but yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, I didn't really expect. I mean, yeah, I mean the Denver running backs. So Denver doesn't pick again till 51. So like if Travion, Caleb go and they don't feel good about someone else, I don't know. There's Jalen Warren, Mason Rudolph, so I don't know. There's kind of a lot to be honest, like because these guys kind of went to like bad situations, right? So
Yeah. Did you get
um
Did you get Michael? He's asking, can you see if his comment went through?
Michael, which one are you? I don't know who you are. Are you fantasy
The
meatball?
the suspense. You know, it's funny.
Or
I kept reading that as fantasy meatball, but it just says fantasy meat B with the ellipses after it. So I just kept thinking it was fantasy meatball, and it's like, yeah, garlic bread and meatballs. That's what I'm talking about.
right. Yeah, Michael, let me know what your Discord name is. And I'll put you in there. And I'll wait for his comment and then we'll spin this bad boy. We'll take off. I know it's late for people. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. And again, tomorrow we should get probably through the third round. Dynasty rookie have a pretty good idea of what the first three rounds are going to go like. So,
Yeah,
were you
I'm
going to say
kind of
something?
I'm excited about what day two is going to bring. You know, for sure. Oh yeah, Michael's the meatball. All right.
Yeah.
Marvin asked a question. I don't know if we answered. I didn't think we answered that. He said in a 14-man start eight is dart number 4 with the lack of QBs. I'm assuming it's super flex if he's asking that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, start eight, that's pretty shallow. Obviously, that's counterbalanced a bit by the 14-man, but it's
Mm-hmm.
still decently shallow. So those high-end players can be, they're that much more valuable. So I don't know. I think you got to, it depends. Look at what your league's done, assuming it's run for a couple of years, and do all these quarterbacks get pushed up? Like, look at last year, especially because we had so many first round quarterbacks.
Yeah.
like see how your league drafted that and maybe take that into account. But best player available is always the best approach. But it's hard to get a quarterback for sure. But you don't necessarily want to be reaching. We already knew this wasn't a strong quarterback class, and we're seeing that with two guys going first overall, and then at 20 at 25. So obviously no one's that excited about these guys, and it's probably not going to start this year unless the Giants really suck, which is obviously well within their ability. So
yeah,
I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you still go Tet there?
I think it would be pretty dependent on how my league values quarterbacks, like you mentioned. Like, do they really? Is it really hard to get quarterbacks? Even the scrubs, even the Will Levises and backup quarterbacks and whatever. Then I would consider it, and also it would depend a little bit on my team. I know we talk about draft best player available, but again, there are some extreme cases where it's like I have one quarterback in a 14-team league, then you probably need another. Like you definitely need another quarterback. So it would depend on my team a little bit. So I don't think it's out of question. Especially if the league really values quarterbacks and it's really hard to get. So, but yeah, let's spin this.
Spin the wheel.
We're going to spin it. Just one. We're going to do another one. We're going to keep everyone's name on there, except for the person that wins. We're going to do another one or two tomorrow. You don't have to be here necessarily. We want you guys here, but even if you can't make it tomorrow, you'll still be entered. And we're gonna spin it. We're gonna pick the winner, and then we're gonna do two backups just in case that person has disappeared into the abyss or something. We'll do two backups, but the backups won't be removed, so don't worry too much about that. So let's spin it. We got a fancy noise going, and we got
hear it.
All right, Benno has been with us for a bit, so we got Benno as the winner. I don't know if he's here. I don't think he is here, so I'm gonna remove his name.
Oh, spin it again, man. No.
You're not here. And then we're gonna do two backups. I won't remove your name. Will not remove your name. Oh, almost post not clarity. Zad, I don't recognize Zad. I think he might be new-ish. So Zad, you're gonna stay on there. You're just the backup. We will keep you we're going to probably spin it once or twice tomorrow. And then we got Ski. I know Ski's been with us for a while, so we'll keep him there. Ski. Just Ski. Yeah, just Ski. So yeah, we're going to spin that again tomorrow. Join us tomorrow for even more. We're going to have more clarity about things again. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Probably around the same time-ish, whenever the third round ends, or maybe we'll go a little bit earlier as the third round's finishing up or something. But
yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Jump in like halfway through the third.
Yeah,
as it's going. Yeah, by the time we get there, I guess it'll be kind of skill player dependent too. Like if obviously like this won't happen, but if three guys go in those first 48 picks, there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about, like to read that out. What time is the draft tomorrow? I should know that.
Starts at 7 Eastern, so 4 your time, 5 my time, 2 rounds, but each pick is slower. So I think it will finish right around the same time. But yeah, maybe we'll go live like mid third round and kind of go from there. We'll definitely be live again Sunday evening. That's the draft's completely done, so we'll be live then. And yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested in any team reviews at all, we do team reviews. We do. It is paid, so but if you do want team reviews, you didn't win the giveaway. We do have team reviews. There's a section there. You can go there, type your name, and and we'll get you in there. So, but yeah, we appreciate everyone that hopped on, and we're excited. We're all excited, and we'll be back tomorrow. So, any last words?
No, I was actually like, I think it's kind of funny. I was just thinking about back to when we were just doing this specific to our league. And I don't know if we've ever said this before, but for some reason, I still think your catchphrase to end everything was always, that, like, it was like, what wasn't it like, goodbye, and I hope you all suck or something like that? Or,
I think it was something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess you don't want to say that necessarily to
Yeah, I don't want our listeners
listener.
to suck,
But,
except for the people in the drafts with us, or in the leagues with us.
Yeah, so just to let everyone know, Mike is a closet dickhead. You'll know if you're in a league with him.
Yeah. Speaking of, we do have a third listener league starting up. So there's a listener league section. Just type your name, and we already have 2. We already did the draft and all that. So we're probably going to get a third one in before the NFL season starts. So probably pretty soon. But yeah. But yeah, appreciate everyone. What time Sunday? Probably around 7 Eastern. Probably around 7 Eastern is when we usually go live. So yeah, well, we'll keep it at 7 Eastern unless something happens and we have to go a little bit later, but 7 Eastern at the earliest. So but yeah, appreciate everyone, and like you said, I hope you all suck.